There's a show called Bluey that the dog dad, I would his brains out.
Well, guys, I don't really like what we're talking about today. Every now and then, despite doing this for a living, I will see or hear something on the internet that genuinely leaves me speechless. And it is never in a good way. Podcasts in 2024 are a plague to our society. There's a sort of running joke on the internet that you should need to have a license to buy podcasting equipment, and that has never been a better idea than right now. If you've spent more than like a week on the internet, you've probably already come across a terrible podcast at some point. Normally, it's something to the tune of 3 guys saying the most insane shit you've ever heard in your life. Either that or them dropping the most lukewarm takes on sports. But hey, it's 2024, baby. Society is inclusive, which means that anybody can go onto the internet and start a podcast where they say things that should have never left the depths of their mind. Things like, I don't know, I like to twiddle my pussy to a cartoon dog. No, I am not joking. Today, we are taking a look at a clip from the Out of Bed podcast where a grown woman admits that she masturbates to the dad from Bluey. And yes, the one you're thinking of, the endearing show for children about a family of blue healers. Free speech might have been a mistake, guys. Now, before you ask me what am I doing in my free time to come across stuff like this, I will explain. I learned of this from like a 30-second long clip I saw on Twitter, and I thought it was a joke. So I went to the original podcast, and no, this woman talks for about 5 minutes in great detail about how the dad from Bluey, who has found his home on Disney Junior, really gets her going. Privacy used to be valued, people. But since I'm sure many of you don't believe me because you still have an optimistic heart, I think it's time you see this for yourself. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Yeah, easily.
There's a show called Bluey. Have you heard of Bluey? It's Australian.
Is it the dog
cartoon?
show?
Dog show?
I put it on for my dog when I leave the house.
Okay, the dog dad, I would fucking fuck his brains out. The dog dad.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. So if you've never seen Bluey, like if you have no idea what Bluey is, you might be thinking like, well, maybe this dog is kinda hot, right? You might be thinking, whoa, let's hear her out. Maybe this dog is sexy. And you know what? Fair play. You might be picturing this like 6'4", chiseled, tall, dark, and handsome dog. He's respectful, he dresses nice, he smells good. You might be thinking, let's hear this lady out. But unfortunately for you freaks, no. It's literally just a dog. This is what it looks like. And this lady wants to ride him off into the sunset.
Oh, okay, the dog dad, he's funny, he's kind, he's smart. I have never, yes, okay. He's a dog, and I have never been more attracted to anybody in my life.
Really?
And it is a cartoon dog.
Bandit?
Just
Bandit.
That personality does matter.
Oh, he's such a good dad.
He looks like a dog version of Phil Dunphy.
Whoa now, I don't know who said that, but let's not start feeding this woman's delusions. No, it doesn't. It looks like a blue rectangle with basic geometric shapes for facial features. I literally cannot imagine a less sexy thing than a cartoon dog in a children's show. And there's a grown woman dog in this show, so I went and checked. And guess what? She's not sexy. It's a dog.
Yes, a dog.
Yes. I haven't watched the show. I just put it on for River and I leave the house.
That's gotta be it. He's a dog version of it.
I'm gonna sit there with River tonight on a Friday night and be like, we're watching Bluey, I guess, buddy.
The dad is so funny, so kind, great father. I mean, I've masturbated to him.
Yep, and that's when you know you need help. Yeah, that's when you check yourself in somewhere. Look, I understand that sexiness is a spectrum. Things that women find sexy are often not the same things that men find sexy and vice versa. For a lot of women, it's not always about physicality. Traits can be sexy. Being a good father can be sexy. Totally fine. Makes sense. But this is a dog. I know this is hard for you to accept, but this is a cartoon dog, okay? And you guys might be thinking, okay, well, maybe she's just attracted to the actor. No, she's actually gonna address that directly in a very mean way. She wants to fuck a cartoon dog.
Really?
I've masturbated to him.
Like, I'm so curious though, is he a cartoon?
He's a cartoon.
Were you imagining you two together? Were you just masturbating to his personality?
I was masturbating to fucking him. You have to hear his voice, though. I was also masturbating to his voice. Wait, can we play a clip of his voice? Because his voice is, the man who does his voice, ugliest man I've ever seen in my life.
That guy?
The voice is good though.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're not only an absolute freak, you're also an asshole. What a combo. David McCormick, a completely normal-looking guy, is the ugliest man you've ever seen, says the dog fucker. Shouldn't really be surprised, though, because I skimmed through this podcast, and most of it is them just hating on other people's appearances. Like, literally the first 10 seconds of this podcast is this woman saying that Sydney Sweeney looks like she has fetal alcohol syndrome, and if she didn't have boobs, she'd be a nobody. It's a really lovely podcast. These seem like great people.
Oh my god, please get that for any guys you date.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
That hoodie.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
Babe, I got your present. It's this hoodie. It's completely random. It's just blue, yellow, and black. I don't know where it comes from.
And you have to keep it on during sex.
I don't know what it reminds me of. Like,
okay, so that's the.
oh Jesus Christ, Meredith.
But I know.
Okay, so in the nicest way that I can word this is what happens when you become famous for no other reason than because people like to look at you. Everything in your world becomes about appearances to the point where you have no problem openly mocking a man because you don't like the way he looks. These are grown adults. The youngest person in this room is 30, and they're sitting around like 13-year-old girls laughing at a guy because of the way he looks.
But you know what, guys? Don't yuck my yums.
You know what, men?
You guys are.
I respect that.
You know the funny part is, your son is innocently watching this TV
I know,
show.
and I'm like hot and
Minding his own, yes.
But that kills two birds with one stone. That's the most efficient way to get off.
Yes, and I'm here. I'm there watching it with him. You know, I'm invested too.
Time.
I'm spending time.
Better that than just like hate your life when you're watching cartoons the whole time. But I will say, men get off to anime cartoon porn all day, every day.
Do you really?
Of course.
Okay, well, let's dissect these last 30 seconds or so. First of all, saying the most efficient way to get off is by watching a cartoon with your child has got to be a statement worthy of getting you put on a list. Again, youngest person here is 30. And then trying to justify this absolutely insane situation by saying, hey, some guys watch anime porn. Like there's no social stigma around that. Two weird masturbation habits don't make a right. And even if you are into that, cartoon porn is porn. Bluey is Bluey.
But
what's it called?
We get post nut clarity.
Is it just is this called post nut clarity for women too?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Is there a word for it that's not nut?
But it is the thing. I get what you're saying. I do feel gross after watching.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was perverted.
Yeah.
And if you feel like that, like the sweetest, nicest person I know, men must just feel absolutely terrible about themselves.
Well, no, I don't think men feel bad about it. Do you think men feel bad about it, Carlos?
In a room full of men?
No.
Okay, so this is not really related to the whole Bluey thing, but I just want to step in here because this is so stupid. Carlos, being a bad ambassador here, they're talking about like watching hentai and feeling bad afterwards, and they're saying, do men feel like that? Do men get these feelings? As they are discussing what they should call post-nut clarity for women. Guys, what do you think post-nut clarity refers to? You can't make this stuff up. Oh, and then like 30 seconds later, the guy who said that post-nut clarity doesn't exist for men says that he hires escorts all the time, so you know, that kind of explains that away. But fortunately for us, that is where all of the Bluey talk ends, and I'm still kind of at a loss for words, not gonna lie. I had a completely different video planned for today, and then I saw this on Twitter, and I was like, okay, plans have changed. I consider myself a pretty open-minded person, but I mean, some things you just don't say out loud. When you start referring to watching a show with your child as the most efficient way to get off, you've gone too far. Well, guys, what do you think? Has Meredith exposed women all across the world? Is this really what every woman secretly wants? The dad from Bluey? Based off the reactions that I saw on Twitter, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this is not the case. And for the purpose of my own mental health, I'm gonna go ahead and just assume that I am right. Feel free to not correct me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.